The NYPD makes a couple 100,000 arrests each year and logs a couple thousand complaints at the same time about the officers.
Family and friends of a black man killed by police officers in 2019 are pushing back.
The most high-profile cases make news, typically, when officers shoot their guns. But the reality is people can file complaints beyond allegations of inappropriate use of force. They can range from accusations of offensive language to making false statements and abusing authority. And those complaints submitted to the investigators at the independent city agency, the Civilian Complaint Review Board.
It's incredibly difficult work.
Meet Mac Muir and Greg Finch, two former CCRB investigators. Muir worked for 7 years, Finch for 9. They wrote a new book describing what they call obstruction by the agency it was tasked to look at.
What percentage of the cases do you feel like were unnecessarily delayed by NYPD?
Well over 90%.
Proof, they say, is in those NYPD surveillance cameras around the city. Typically, the footage expires after 30 days, and Muir and Finch say the Internal Affairs Bureau used that. During one several-month period during our tenure, IAB waited 31 days to respond to every surveillance footage request we knew of, with a bold, handwritten, expired.
Did you feel like you would have to close cases because the evidence you needed simply wasn't being provided to you?
Absolutely.
Which means not getting to the truth, whether the officer made a mistake or did nothing wrong. The examples from their book span from 2016 to 2022, but Finch, who worked at the CCRB until February, says it's reflective of today too.
In regards to the core issues of waste and obstruction of CCRB investigations, the problems have continued.
Body camera footage has drastically changed these investigations. The CCRB says before the 2019 rollout of the cameras, more than half of cases were closed without sufficient evidence to determine if there was misconduct. Last year, it was just 22%.
And having it early on is really, really important.
But in one of Muir's cases, he says he watched body camera footage he was looking for on this New York Post story.
Drop the knife! Drop the knife!
But NYPD Legal denied it existed, then admitted the footage did exist, but refused to release it, citing an internal investigation.
Had to close the case.
Why?
Statute of limitations, got to move on to the next case.
In the latest CCRB report, there were just over 1,700 officers the CCRB substantiated complaints against, but the NYPD dismissed close to 900 of them, just over half, because of a city law that sets a statute of limitations for disciplinary proceedings for misconduct within 18 months after the incident. But out of the 890 dismissals because of timing, more than 300 were at least 60 days away from that deadline.
It is now my privilege to lead you.
The CCRB leadership tells New York One they've been pleased new police commissioner Jessica Tisch has reversed the policy of outright dismissing cases approaching the 18-month mark. And Muir says the early steps from Tisch have been positive.
I'm heartened by the incremental steps she's taken and hopeful for the future, but it's going to take eyes on what's happening in order to make sure that actually takes place.
While the city charter codifies the CCRB, Muir says the CCRB's oversight depends on the NYPD's consistent cooperation. In the 2019 annual report, CCRB leadership announced an agreement with NYPD where CCRB investigators could search and review unredacted body-worn camera video in collaboration with NYPD staff. 6 years later, that hasn't happened. Muir and Finch's time doing investigations into the NYPD are over, but they say they hope through their book they open New Yorkers' eyes to what they say they saw for years. Eric Feldman, New York One.
Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. Let Spectrum News be your resource for balanced, in-depth political coverage, and click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV to learn more about the candidates, where they stand on the issues, and more. We'll see you then.